So what? Did they not do it?
They might not come. Yeah, no,
Did it turn?
Just sit at home and wait for the phone to ring. See if you need it. Yeah.
It's ready. Well, it's over. Okay, it's time, and we'll go ahead and call our meeting to order. And we're going to have the invocation by Kendra, and then the Pledge of Allegiance by Lynn.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the honor and ability to be involved in working for the good of our county and its citizens. Please grant wisdom to our community leaders and a humble desire to govern with the needs of our citizens as a priority. Fill us with your grace. Let us never forget that we should all do and honor and glorify in all we do. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so we will adopt the agenda. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda? If not, we'll move on to approving the minutes of the previous meetings for February the 11th and February the 27th.
Do we need a motion to adopt? Make a motion to adopt the agenda and the additional agenda as presented.
I'll second.
All in favor? Any opposed? And moving on to the minutes, we need to review the minutes for the meetings of February the 11th and February 27th. Is there any discussion? Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? And then we have the financial status report from Lisa Richardson.
Madam Chairman, if you take a few minutes to get the thing up there on the TV. Okay, there before you, you should have your financial reports, and you start with the revenue summary. If you look at page 2, there it starts as Fund 1, which is the general fund revenue. We have an appropriated adopted budget of $26,382,504 for Fund 1. We have a current spending of $1,903,706.81 with a year-to-date amount of $23,473,280.47 with a remaining balance of $2,909,223.53. That is for the Fund 1. If you go through your report, it's broken down by each fund, each category. If you get to page 6, there's the final total for all funds. The adopted budget is $90,374,539. That's amended budget. There's the current expenditures for all funds is $6,709,751.98 with a year-to-date balance of $5,847,424.25. Excuse me, $434.25. with a remaining balance in the budget of $31,901,104.75. That's the revenue. The next report is the expenditure summary. Page 1, Fund 1, General Fund Expenses. If you turn to page 2, at the very top, for Fund 1, the total that is appropriated in the budget is $26,489,486. The current amount is $2,228,026.39. Year-to-date spent is $13,549,965.78. If you go on down through those categories, you'll find the fund balance, fund expenditure for each fund balance, each fund. If you get to page 5, the total appropriated budget, total approved budget is $90,374,539. Current expenditures is $7,325,435.01, and the year-to-date expenditures for all funds is $49,601,568.03, with a remaining unencumbered balance of $40,772,970.97. The next sheet we have there, you can go back up. Yeah. Actually, yeah, there you go. That one does not look right, but we'll just kind of. This is an AP comparison. It's March 2020 as compared to our expenditures in March 2019, and the differences between the 2 years. It's broken down by category. If you look down at the bottom there, the total expenditures for March 2020 is $1,074,119.46 as compared to March of 2019, $998,408.15, which was an increase of $75,711.31. And on the next spreadsheet, we have deposits over expenditure report. If you look to the far right, 2019-2020 fiscal year, our current deposits are at $58,123,241.56. Our expenditures are $48,169,02.81. So we have $9,954,238.75 more in deposits than we do in expenditures as of the end of February. And our next spreadsheet is the county expenses and appropriations. That one right there. There we go. It's a comparison of for year 2020 to, February 2020 to February of 2019. The bank balance as of January 2020 was $578,261.21. That's a difference of $633,589.14 to the balance in February of 2019. The CD investment amounts have gone up by $2,548,320.55 for a total balance of $15,972,2222.01. So that total difference between the bank balance and the CD investments is $1,914,731.41 to the good, the increase. As far as your deposits compared this year to last year, your deposits for February were $669,512.70. That's an increase of $528,579.86. Your expenses in February of 2020 are $6,283,788.20. That's down $4,026. Your total for that is $15,757,946.51. An increase over last year of $2,447,337.96. Your balance of all those categories is $15,325,507.79, which was your February ending balance, and that's a difference of $2,599,422, increase from over that same category from 2019. As far as the CDs, the total CDs are $3,209,996.69. That's an increase of $191,767.53 to February of 2019.
Okay.
On the next page, as far as your bank at the top, as far as your bank balance in CDs January 2020 was $15,972,222.01. That's an increase of $1,914,731.41 as compared to that time last year. With your deposits of February 2020, the balance is $22,041,734.71 for a total increase of $2,443,311.27. As far as your unspent appropriations, Department of Social Services has $101,423.04. That is unspent, and that's $33,039.60 less than they had at this same time last year. The county school and capital outlay, they have an unspent balance of $278,252.15. That's $119,147.10 less than the same time last year. And the general county unspent appropriations is $52,763.53, and that's a difference of $102.66 at the same time last year. Finally, your balance is $15,325,507.79. That's $2,599,422 over this same time last year. And again, that is your ending bank balance at the end of February, $15,325,507.79. That should be sufficient to cover your appropriations for the month that you have on your agenda today. As far as Smyth County Water Sewer uncollected county taxes, the Smyth County Water Sewer balance was a negative $2,435,727.52. That's a difference of $13,637.61. So that is down from the previous year. Your balance February 2020 of $2,330,472 is a gain of $41,814.21. Your total loss 2003 to present was a negative $7,912,774.23, which again is a gain of $41,814.21. Your uncollected county taxes 1999 to 2018. Uncollected February 2020 is $3,480,077.68. That's an increase of $147,965.65. And your uncollected county taxes 2019 was $3,069,838.47, and as of February 2020, that's $1,545,481.29, and that again a gain of $41,270.73. The next report you have is your treasurer's accountability. This is a balance sheet for February by category. It's broken, if you look through to the end of the report, you can see again that it's broken down by category. It shows the debits and the credits for the month of February alone, the beginning balance and then the ending balance. And if you go to the very end, the total liability, at the end of February, we have an ending balance of $75,613,580.12. And that should be all you have.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. Just a little bit early, but I think we'll go on to citizens' time. We should have the list of people who signed up. Okay, we have Mr. Ralph Price.
Mr. Chairman and the board, supervisors, thank you so much for, how many minutes do I get?
Usually it's 3, but if you're speaking on behalf of the
Stay
group,
on
it's
time,
5.
because I may go over. Anyway, last week in Smyth County News, or week before, whenever it was the last few days, this board, town council, and Mr. Graham kind of okayed, or echoed, whatever, the Mount Rogers Planning District's plan to build a building over in my residential area there on Culvert Drive to have babies. And do y'all know what's going on with that? Do you know what's going on when you have a baby? It's a lot of money spent, but it's in a residential area that they have been over our age of 10 years, and they have enough room maybe to build this property, but the babies are coming from people that are drug addicts. And I have no idea what a drug addict baby delivered is. I just don't know what that means, you know. But I do know that it's going to cost a lot of money. I've been watching your budget. I don't think we've got enough money in the county or even in the state. Mount Rogers has come up with this idea from somewhere, I don't know, but they're so big. Last October, there was an ad in the paper that indicated that the state hospital right up here was going to give them possibly 6 acres to build this facility on, and it would be okay because it's in an area where there's no issues. But they want to build this over in a neighborhood, and yet y'all okayed it. Every one of you okayed it. I mean, your names was in the paper giving them the heads up. You haven't voted on anything, but when Howard Burton was here, I understand Howard Burton was supervisor. You remember him. Some of you remember when he was here. He was kind of the, I don't know what his position was in relationship to Mount Rogers, but I think he was kind of an overseer, not allowing them to go as far as they wanted to go or something. I don't know, but I believe that this board needs to realize how much money they're spending of taxpayer dollars, that everybody's nodding to go with it. Think about it. Now, and I got to thinking the other day when, if this were to go through and the little babies were coming in on planet Earth on Culvert Drive in a residential area, those 10 beds over there that women are in, guess what? They've got drugs in their system, but guess who's going to be coming in my neighborhood, in a residential neighborhood, to visit them? The boyfriend or the daddy of the father of the child. And guess what? They may be driving in. Where's my policeman at? Okay, they're going to be driving in Smyth County, in the town of Marion, under the drug addicted, whatever they may be taking. Some of these drugs you don't get off of. And I've heard meth is probably the best. If that's the top of the drug. Anyway, if the babies are being born under meth, who knows what kind of babies that we're going to be birthing in Smyth County. But I just found out today, they're going to be housed over there till the baby comes. Then they'll go to Abingdon or Whitfield, because Murray built a brand new hospital and we can't birth a baby in Smyth County. Now that's bad. That's bad. And, I don't want to take y'all tell me when to quit. But I do want you to consider this. As I drove in here a while ago, I seen about a $5 million facility, the first one and the second one. These buildings don't go up cheap. I'm a contractor, I know. I just ain't making that kind of money, but guess who built these? It wasn't my company, or it wasn't nobody else in Smyth County. The people out of Bristol or Johnson City or somewhere else is building these buildings for Mount Rogers, when they can get a free one, but they don't want to wait till, next fall, whenever to do this. They want to start now. They want to start right now, quick, just as soon as they can get its own medical arts. And I beg the supervisors and leadership of Smyth County, do some research on what's going to be happening with the money that's being spent. Taxpayers' dollars. I pay a lot of taxes. The budget here, you can look it on the file. I'm making a lot of money, and I pay a lot of taxes to Smyth County and to the state of Virginia. It's not being used wisely. And I want to thank each one of you supervisors, and do consider what you've okayed, because it's going to come up for a rezoning in a few days with the Marion Town Council, and we're going to address them too.
Yeah.
Thank you. So very
Mr.
much.
Price, we appreciate you coming and bringing your concerns. We certainly will take that under advisement and we'll look into it. From my understanding, it seems that the level right now is with the town of Marion and them rezoning that property. So I commend you for your passion about it and for your concern, and as we all are, so.
And excuse me, one more thing, I would recommend to the older supervisors here that have been down the road that knows that you're over, the supervisors holds the string of Mount Rogers. They can't turn a wheel unless y'all say yes. I found that out just recently. And Mr. Wade Horton, Howard Burton, excuse me, was one of the ones that held the string. So, thank you again, all y'all guys, thank you.
Thank you so much. No one else signed up to speak, but do we have anybody else that wishes to speak? If not, we'll close this at the time.
Madam Chairman, I think the gentleman in the back wanted to speak.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, come on.
I'm sorry, I was a little late coming in. I was on a call and couldn't get here in time to sign up. Again, I'm Nathan with Salt Rescue Squad. I just wanted to give you an update report on last month.
Well, we failed to get an address from Mr. Price, and could we get your address, please?
The address,
Uh-huh.
126 Battleground Avenue, Salt Virginia, 24370.
Okay, thank you.
We did well last month again, about $3,900 was our profit for last month. We're still, struggling financially, but we're making it. Our calls are still coming in, we're still answering all our calls, we still have everybody there going through, and we will make it, for the rest of the year. Right now, I think we've got some fundraisers planned for the beginning of the spring, around maybe the beginning of March. But we just wanted to give you guys an update, let you know we're still around, and see if you had any questions for us.
They do very well. We had a meeting just a few days ago, and finances look great. I continue to be very proud of these guys.
Yeah.
They have showed the whole county what can be done with some effort and dedication.
You are to be commended, because I know just a few minutes it was an entirely different picture, so
Yes, ma'am.
we really do commend you on what you've done, and the services you're providing for that community is just great. And thank you for coming regularly.
I know Phil Stevenson was concerned last month about it. We're still in the works of talking with the Nebo community and getting a second truck out there in Nebo to better serve that end of the county, and that is our district in our area, our call area, service area, so we want to better service them ourselves, but we're speaking with them about getting another truck out that way so we can get a quicker response.
It's good when everybody works together, and it just serves everybody well. Yes.
So, thank you
Any
again for
other-
your time. If you have no other questions, I'll leave you alone.
Well, thank you, and we appreciate you coming so often to give us a report.
No problem.
Thank you
Thank you
so
very much.
much.
Thanks, Nate.
Thank you.
I think that we'll move to the regional jail resolution with Stephen Clear.
Madam Chair, if I may, I have these resolutions here. I'm going to hand them down in paper copies so you'll see what he's speaking to.
Are these separate stacks to take?
Yes, they are.
Thank you.
They are separate, and I should have included them here in the packet. It's my oversight, and I apologize.
Did you include the presentation of the bag reports?
No, I did not.
Hopefully I won't be here.
Thank you.
Board members, I thank you for allowing me the opportunity. I need to apologize. We are kind of rushing this through. One of the things about this refinance of the debt is I have to go to all 10 localities for the regional jail to each board of supervisors in the city of Norton have to approve the resolution. And what this is with the stock market, what's going on, all of our bonds are sold through VRA, which is a state agency. VRA contacted me about 4 weeks ago with significant savings. Davenport got involved, and if you look in their presentation on page 4, there's a lot of information in this presentation, but really everything is on page 4. We've had some questions from other boards why we're not refinancing more. We're only going to be refinancing $35.4 million, and the reason we're only refinancing is $35.4, which is about half of what we have total, is we did have restrictions. You had to hold it 10 years before you could refinance. So the other ones are still younger than 10 years. So we're looking at refinancing $35.4. We're looking at reducing the interest rate from 4.8 to 2.3. And if you check today, it would actually be a little lower than that. It's hard to believe it could go much lower than 2.3, but it did today. So you never know what may or may not happen. The big key to this refinance is we're not extending the number of years. It's still going to be paid off in 2043. So a lot of times when you come in and refinance, to lower the payment, they add years to the payoff. We're not doing that this time. All this is a straight interest rate. So, for the projection, total was $4,685,000 total savings. That's over the whole life. It's about $250 average for the first through 2036. So, and of course, Smyth County shares that's about, I think it's 12 to 13%. Is what your share of that savings per year would be.
I'm sorry, say that number one more
I
time.
think it's 12 to 13%.
Thank you.
And that is on debt service. That is part of the debt.
Thank you.
Are there any questions? Or what you have in front of you, there's 2 resolutions. The only one you're approving is a resolution allowing, well, you're approving both, but one resolution allows you to sign the other one, which is a support agreement.
Any questions or discussions?
I appreciate you putting me early in the meeting. I've got another meeting in Washington County.
Oh, wow, busy evening. You're
Not as
busy.
bad as next week. Lee County and City North.
Oh, good drive.
We need a motion on this stuff.
Uh-huh. Charlie, you're on that
I'm on the
board.
jail
Do you have
committee.
anything to add to it?
Unfortunately, I talked to Stephen Mr. Clear on the phone, and it's quite a savings. And it's like you said, this is based on 2.1, and what's going on right now, it's looking even better.
Yes,
You
it
never know,
is.
though. But I'm for it. I'll make a motion that we approve this resolution.
Okay, do we have a second?
So moved.
All in favor? Any opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, and next I think we'll do consideration of the trough modification for Scully, and it's Kendra.
You guys had in your packet a copy of the original trough agreement that was signed by you guys and in agreement with Sholey for their $195,000 grant. I've been in discussion with them recently, Aaron and I both have. They would like to get some of that money up front in some other projects that they're working on right now. They have already met 80% of their capital investment requirement and 102% of their job requirement. They were supposed to get $10.290 million for capital investment, and they're currently at $8,453,094. And in just a couple of months, they should invest about $4 million on another piece of equipment, so that will put them over their requirement. And this is only year 1 of 3, so they're already looking really, really good. In doing this agreement modification, you will have to, number one, agree to do it. There is an Exhibit B in the agreement that you guys will have to sign. I believe Ms. Judy will. Once you guys do that, if you choose to adopt it, I will send it to the Tobacco Commission, where they will send it up their chain for approval. And if that is the case, it basically makes you guys a guarantee if they fall short on their requirements. So, like I said, they've already got 80% and look to exceed that within the next couple of months.
That's impressive.
Yes, they're doing great. They're doing really good.
Madam Chairman, may I ask a question? Is this modification just to go ahead and give them the whole? Okay. I'll make a motion that we approve that modification for Shirley
Do we have a,
Authorize the chairman to sign the
and authorize the chairman to sign the documents. Thank you.
do we have a second?
So moved.
All in favor?
I got
Okay.
a discussion first. I'm probably for it, but just a clarification. How much are we dependent on that piece of equipment, putting them over the hump?
Well, like I said, they're at a little over $8 million already, so they still have 2 more years to get to that $10.29 million. So even if something happened with that, they still had enough time to recoup that other just a couple of million
Okay.
that it would take.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so we had a motion, a second. All in favor? Any opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you, Kendra. All right, next on the agenda is the Board of Equalization appointments, and the board is responsible for appointing people to serve on this. We have recommendations. We have to have 5 people, and then we have to have 1 alternate. So the names that have been submitted, and did you have a name for an alternate, Lori?
I did not confirm with my contact yet, so.
Okay, so we'll do the 5.
We'll do the 5
Okay.
now. I'll get back to that.
So up for our consideration, we have Vicki Stamper, who is a realtor, Charlie Wilson, who is also a realtor, Bob Wisman, a realtor, Norman Sparks, and Tom Copenhaver. So do we have any discussion on that? Do we have a motion to approve these people for this board?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, and then we have the Planning Commission recommendation for the special use permit. Okay.
If you look in your packet just behind the Exhibit B that we just looked at, looking at page 35, you'll remember that there was a public hearing held jointly between yourselves and the Planning Commission, and that after that public hearing, the Planning Commission recommended that William Billy Lawson, be allowed a special use permit for the activity that he had applied for, which was to do a wedding venue on his property. At this time, if you agree with that special use permit, then you should vote to approve that as well.
Okay, so this is a recommendation from the Planning Commission,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
we just need to vote on it. All in favor? Any opposed?
You retirees here.
Is that no? I think we'll go back and do the payment of invoices. So if you look at your additional agenda, under the general county appropriations, we have a total of $1,790,000. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second? All in favor? Any opposed? Under social services, we have a request for $425,000.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Under the schools and operating fund, we have $4,305,000.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Under recovery court fund, we have $363.39.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Under the sheriff fund, we have $7,423.72.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? All right. So I guess we can go into the additional agenda, Aaron, if you want to. Consideration of the VIA agreement.
Okay, this is just an update that I want to bring to you. I've been speaking with Josh Lewis, who is the executive director of VIA. VIA, the Economic Development Partnership that, of course, Smyth County is a partner with County Bland, Smith, Grayson, City of Galax, and Carroll County. What Josh has offered or brought to me, basically to bring to you, is the opportunity to pay extra to them to be able to have someone who is a specialist in economic development, but in the case that you don't have the money or the work to hire someone full-time in economic development, you can pay them. I believe his initial estimate was $40,000 a year, and I think Bland would share the other $40,000 a year, and we would split that cost. Currently, Carroll, Grayson, and Galax are doing the same thing with a position in their area. What that would do for us is someone who would come in the county administration position, once this position is hired, may or may not have the expertise that you need for economic development. And of course, that's going to be part of your decision-making process. We have Kendra, of course, who is excellent at fielding all the questions, at getting the analytical data that we have on file, getting that back out to whether it be Tobacco Commission for reporting, whether it be ROIs for VEDP and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, I've just noticed personally that when I sit down at the table, across from a manufacturer, there's a knowledge gap that I don't have, and that someone needs to be sitting in that seat that can fill that knowledge gap. It's not someone who needs to be here every day, because of the time that I've been here, we've needed that specialty probably once a week or maybe once every other week.
Mm-hmm.
The reason that I'm bringing this before you, I don't have the pencil sharpened on it, but if you're interested in the idea, it'll save you probably $40,000 a year as to hiring someone full-time. I don't think that right now there's a need for a full-time economic development with the way the hours and responsibilities are organized. So as a stopgap, you could at least do it until you have a county administrator, and then you can decide further from there. Or you obviously would not have to really decide on this until you're doing your budget and such. But if you would like me to continue to look into it and ask Josh some of the details. As far as I understand, you're going to get somebody a couple of days a week that's dedicated to you, to doing this job for you. Blaine will have them the other 2 days a week. I would imagine that Josh would have another day specifically for his kind of administrative stuff that he would have to use him for, and that's how the time would be divided up. I think it's a good idea, personally. Obviously that's just a recommendation from me, seeing the current environment that we're in as far as staffing goes. If you would like for me to look further into this, I would be happy to do it and maybe come back to you at a later date with something a little more definitive.
What's the pleasure of the board?
Madam Chairman, if I may make a comment, just because this is my expertise, in my experience, I feel like there's so many layers of economic development. So you start on a local level, and I do think it's important to have somebody on staff that can work with your existing companies as a liaison, which I know that Kendra and Aaron are doing that now, and that's really important to have, especially in situations like with Charlie and their expansion right now. When you get to the level of business attraction, it's a little bit different, and if you have somebody on a local level who is trying to do that and exhaust all their efforts, unless you have a lot of money to put toward that, you're not going to be successful, because you can't give somebody $5,000 and expect them to travel to the UK or travel to all of the Site Selector Guild conferences to make the connection with the site selection consultants. Josh Lewis and his organization already does this, so this is adding that extra layer in there to actually have somebody who is representing us individually. So for me, from a personal level, I feel like it's important that we explore this opportunity because I think we're going to get more value And then down the road, we've got to look for somebody who focuses on economic development and community development and planning. So I know we've talked about an economic development position before, but I think right now we are at a crucial time, and we have got to have somebody that is promoting our county, and this would be the answer to that, with the intention of later on down the road, based on the county administrator that we hire, his or her background in this. If they're not familiar with it, we could add a position potentially to focus on the community development side and the economic development, but I think this is the no-brainer solution.
Any other comments?
I'm probably saying it the same way, but I just think it gives us immediate representation there and gives us time to take that one other frustration out of our basket that we don't have to handle right now, and know that we can make that decision 6 months, a year from now, and have someone out there representing us, maybe not next week, but fairly quickly. And I'm all for it.
Mr. Ratliff?
As a past economic director, board member, I would echo the sentiments previously stated, that we do need someone in this position, and this would be a Band-Aid to put on it until we can find a permanent solution. Now, as to, do we look at it as a 6-month window or just undefine it? That's up for debate, but we do need somebody fairly quickly.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Paul, Mr. Bloom, you come in. So, I think Aaron, if I heard him correctly, was asking for permission to explore this more fully. Is that
Yes,
what
and
you're asking?
I feel like from conversation that I have consensus. You don't need to vote. It's not, you're not spending money. I'm just
Okay.
furthering what I'm doing. I do want to say, in the time that I've been here, just being able to recognize when I get to the place where I don't understand or don't have prior knowledge of economic development, that even though Josh's job is to kind of get out and push the region, he has came personally to us and helped work with us. So he has filled that gap in just to be helping us out. So I do want to say that I appreciate him, just publicly appreciate him taking the time out of his schedule to come in and just help me get the job done in the instances where I don't know what to do.
Good. Sounds like it's going to be mutually beneficial for us then. Thank
I
you.
believe so.
All right. Next on the agenda is a report from the Insurance Committee, and that's Mr. Ratliff.
Yes, we met, what day was it, Tuesday? March 6th. It was, thank you. Thank you. Still learning how to handle this paperwork. Just to paraphrase, it's already in the packet here. We called the meeting to order, myself and, yeah, thank you. Charlie was with us there. Ms. Richardson presented the insurance packet for the county employees, and after a brief discussion about the whys and what fors of the numbers, it appears that the proposal for the upcoming year renewal is going to be financially favorable for us with a slightly reduced cost of insurance. So the committee recommendation was to proceed with our current insurance packet as presented. Correct? So, there.
Okay. Any questions or discussion? Do I hear a motion?
It's a committee recommendation.
Okay, so all in favor? Any opposed? Next is the Budget Committee recommendation. Charlie?
The budget, that's the wrong one. Okay, the Budget Committee met on Friday, March 6th at 1. Myself, Judy, and Lori were in attendance. Sheriff Schuler presented a budget amendment request for the 744 activity fund to a budget shortfall. Sheriff Schuler requested funds be added to the Police Activity Fund 744 to salary and wages for the Highway Safety Patrol, mental health transport, and highway trash pickup. Sheriff Schuler noted that deputies have worked extra time on highway safety, and a retirement and resignation payout have been paid out of the funds this year. This would be a revenue-neutral amendment, as the revenue line would be increased to offset the expenditure line increase. Interim County Administrator Aaron Sizemore was asked to research the 1% budget change as stated by the Code of Virginia and how it would affect the proposed amendment. So we are making a motion to approve, just for everybody's knowledge, the research on the budget amendment says if once we have exceeded, or once we're going to exceed 1% of our original budget, we have to have a public hearing to change it anymore. So this motion was, we were requested to make an $80,000 line item change. We can do $50,000 right now without a public hearing to keep the operation moving forward, and we will go out for a public hearing for the change in the budget. So the motion is to approve $50,000 budget amendment as requested by the Royal Oak District Supervisor Judy Wyatt, and I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
I do have a question. The minutes note 80,000.
80.
So is it 80 or 50?
It's 50 because 80 is exceeding
Okay.
1%.
Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed?
Sheriff Schuler stated the compensation board, second issue, Sheriff Schuler stated the compensation board budget had allocated $3,561.71 for office expense for his department, and the department is allowed to spend those funds for various items, including the vehicle maintenance and expense. Reimbursement is requested from the comp board as those expenses are incurred. Sheriff Schuler requested $3,561.71 be transferred out of line 001-021070-1001, salary and wages, into line 001-021070-5408, vehicle and power equipment. The motion was made to approve the transfer as requested and was made by Judy White and Charles Atkins that seconded the motion. Motion carried.
Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed?
Lisa Richardson reviewed the solid waste budget transfer request of $6,000. Excuse me. Solid waste supervisor Wally Blevins requested $6,000 be transferred from the vehicle and power equipment budget line item to the landfill maintenance budget line item. Mr. Blevins had requested there be an additional expenses in the landfill maintenance line due to unexpected expenditures to correct the leachate issue at the landfill and supply trustee lunches. Royal Oak Supervisor Judy Wyatt made the motion to approve the budget transfer as requested. Charles Atkins seconded the motion. Motion carried.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed?
And the final item we discussed, which doesn't require a motion, was Lisa Richardson presented a proposal from Solid Waste Supervisor Wally Blevins to sell old metal containers and non-salvageable vehicles stored at the landfill for scrap and use the proceeds generated by the sale to purchase containers for the convenience stations. After discussion, the committee decided not to set aside a separate revenue and expenditure line in the budget. However, Wally can scrap the equipment that is no longer in usable condition, and when needed, containers could be purchased out of the general fund. So we didn't allow to set up the funds that he was requesting, but it was there. I requested we recommend an upgrade be made to the scale house located at the transfer station, but no action was taken. So with no further discussion, the meeting was adjourned at 1:22.
Next on the agenda is the forensic audit RFP results from Aaron.
Madam Chairman, before you go on, do you want a motion to set a public hearing to amend the budget for the sheriff's request?
Yes.
So if someone wants to make a motion second to set a public hearing to amend the budget to increase whatever that budget request is above 1%, you need to set that public hearing.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
When's a good time to?
It has to be advertised, I believe, 2 consecutive weeks prior to the date.
Do it at our April meeting?
That'd be the best way to do it,
Do
and we
that,
can
yes.
confirm the advertising
Yes.
requirements and have time to do it.
April meeting.
April 14th.
We typically do them at 6.
Okay, I'll make that part of the motion. We do it April 14th at 6 o'clock.
Is there a
Or
second?
thereafter.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Now we have a report on the forensic audit RFP results from Aaron.
The RFP was put out and the deadline has passed, and we did not receive any proposals from accounting firms. I'm not sure how to proceed from here. Honestly, we guess canvas for them, and if you want us to do any further searching, I'm going to need some direction from the board.
So it was published in the local newspaper, and what other circulations?
As far as I'm aware, local newspaper, I imagine it's on the website.
Right, so Smyth and the website. Yeah, so it's the Smyth News and website.
Madam Chairman, a couple of options. One is you could have your audit firm give you recommendations of anybody that might do that. Send a letter saying we're requesting this, or do another RFP asking for proposals, or find a firm, research some firms and send them the invitation to bid. Say, hey, we've got this advertisement out here, would you all like to bid on this? Or if you want to talk to your own auditors and ask what the benefits of such an audit would be, or what you're looking for, and can they look for it in their audit without the specific forensic audit, but that's, that's up to the board.
So what's the pleasure of the board?
I personally think we need to re-advertise it, maybe in a broader scheme. I don't think the Smyth County News has the reach to get the surrounding counties, to give us enough of a footprint to attract a potential vendor to service this need. I happen to know that there was a vendor outside the circulation that probably didn't get the notice, or they would have responded. So we either need to go in the Bristol paper or something, or another more regional, sorry, I don't mean to promote a brand, but another more regional circulatory product to get a broader depth.
What about a combination of the three?
Yeah, once you advertise
Do
it,
a combination.
you can send it out
What
to
do you think
people that
about
may
that,
do
Chris?
it, just so they know it's out there. Make sure
Yes.
they see it, whether they pick the Bristol paper or Roanoke or whoever. And you send it directly to that firm and say, hey, we've advertised this, give us a bid if you want.
I think there's very few CPA firms in this end of the state that, we're only talking 10 or 12 firms. It would not be hard to get a list of the firms from the Virginia Society of CPAs and contact the ones in this end of the state that could do that. Like you said, send them a copy of the advertisement and say, we'd like for you to consider this at least.
So,
The drawback to re-advertising, especially in larger circulation, is going to be your cost. And having met the requirement of advertising, as the attorney said, I feel like I can, what I would call shortlist. You pull together a group that you think may be interested in, you contact them directly. I can do that. I can do that now. We've met the procurement requirements, and sort of my hands are untied to go and ask people to give to us.
That's what I would suggest.
yeah.
I
So,
like that motion.
is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? Okay. That completes the agenda. Except for what?
Public hearing.
That's right, but it's not till 6 o'clock. So I think that maybe we'll take a 10-minute recess and then come back for the public hearing. The first time I got to use that.
Wait, you left this unsaid.
Yeah, he said he was.
His fault. Okay, we'll call the meeting back to order. And we will now open our public hearing for the special ordinance for land use. Does anyone wish to speak? Okay. Lisa?
Lisa's gonna.
Shall I read it? He's here.
Jeff Richardson was going to speak.
Sure, I just wanted to come up and encourage the board to go ahead and do a special ordinance.
And what it ends up doing is this going to make this a permanent part of our ordinance, or is it going to be for a short period of time, but in the first place?
No, it's just adopting the ordinance. So the first time was emergency ordinance, right, without a public hearing. So this is a public hearing to re-adopt the ordinance that exists, and it's here forever.
Thank you. I just want to clarify that. I would encourage you to do that, because the advantages of doing this, what it ends up doing is, because we're a small office and we are a rural mountainous area, what it does is take the window from 30 days to 90 days, and it allows our farming community the opportunity to return the information and get it to us. We think it's helpful. Also, the process of which we've gone forth with it, with the mass mailing, once again this year, it's worked out real well. The farming community appreciates it, and it's worked out great. I appreciate my staff for processing it and everything else. Also, you've gone to the $20 per parcel fee. I want to mention one thing I think that the general public has a misunderstanding about it, is that $20 fee that is being paid, it comes to our office. We receive the payment. The payment is not collected by us. It's actually goes to the treasurer's office. They're actually the ones collecting the money. The property owner is given a paid receipt. We mail it back to them. I think one of the misconceptions, I've had some people bring it up, and at first I didn't really frankly understand what they were saying, but some of the public have the impression that it's going to generate over $50,000, is that they have the impression that somehow this is going into our budget. It is not. This is the fourth land use revalidation that we have done, which we have to do by code every 6 years. And we have never received a penny in our budget. All of the monies that are generated by the revalidation or re-signing up of land use goes into the general fund. And then those monies are distributed at the discretion of the board for whatever they wish for them to pay. But I would encourage you to go ahead and adopt it. I think it helps. It makes it more efficient for our office and serves the farming community better. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
You seen it? Madam Chairman, I have a hard time adopting something I haven't even seen to read yet.
You know, I think that we need to copy.
This is the same ordinance that was adopted previously without the public hearing.
Without the public hearing.
So when he presented that ordinance at a prior meeting and requested an emergency adoption because of his time window, the board adopted that ordinance on an emergency basis. And then we set the public hearing to hear comments on that amendment and then to re-adopt that same ordinance. So it's the ordinance that you already adopted, the changes that he had requested before. This is a public hearing as required by the code to be held after you do an emergency adoption of an ordinance to re-adopt that ordinance. So if you want to review that, I'm sure staff can find a copy of that. I might have
a copy of the ad, but I do not have the original.
I may have it on my computer.
I can make copies.
It was in our packets before.
Whether we're doing or don't, I think it needs to be a part of our minutes, that ordinance.
Well, let me just make some copies.
Okay.
Does that count being in a minute?
Normally we
Say
read
that
it.
again.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody can just read it.
Gone now.
Well, we could be reading it while she's making copies. Do you have it on your device?
Last meeting.
I think it was read before.
It was read
Yeah.
before.
We're deleting paragraph A of that
So it's-
section.
Yeah, it's already, so,
This is just to make it permanent.
yeah. So,
I'm on trouble.
So the exact change of the amendment that was adopted is that the application period of time to make the application is changed from 30 days to 90 days. So that was one change. And then at the end of that paragraph, the other change that was made was an application fee. It was $20 plus 10 cents per acre for anything over 50. And now the adopted ordinance is $15 for each count number. instead of the $20. So it actually reduced the fee by $5, and it
No.
No, it's opposite.
Other way around.
Is it opposite?
It's opposite.
Actually, it took it from, I believe, from $20 plus the additional 10 cents over
Right.
to a flat. Initially, my proposal, I think I brought to the board, was initially possibly 15. I think the board discussed it and decided to go up on a $20.
Yeah.
It may have been, and my notes have reflected your proposal, I guess, from my notes.
Does it increase the revenue in it? Yeah.
I think the revenue balance, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
So those were the two changes that were made to the ordinance with this amendment.
Nobody wants to speak about it?
Well,
Okay.
any other people that want to speak? Jeff, you had your, no other comments? Anybody else?
Close the public hearing.
You don't want to wait for it to be read?
No, I can, now that he's explained it, I can
Okay.
go with it.
All right. Well, Lisa, thank you for going through all that trouble for us. Okay. So if there no other people wish to speak, we'll close the public session. Thank you.
Madam Chairman,
Yes.
I move that we waive our rules because we need to make this permanent. We waive our rules and go ahead and vote on this tonight.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed?
Madam Chairman,
Yes.
I move that we approve the amendment as we have in front of us here tonight.
Second.
All in favor?
Sorry.
Any opposed? All right. So we'll now close the, yeah, okay. All right. Thank you, Jeff. We're ready for closed session. Well, one thing that we've wanted to do for several months, and with all the other things that have been on the agendas, somehow we've had to delay it. But tonight we really did want to go ahead and do a resolution to recognize some of our previous employees. And Lori, I think you're going to
Sure.
handle that.
Happy to do that. Thank you, Madam Chairman. The resolution here is basically to recognize employees who were employed here before and have actually retired from the county. There were several of them with quite lengthy times of service. Mr. Mike Neal with 29 years and 1 month of service. Mr. William Turman with 32 years and 5 months of service. And we have Mr. James Blevins with 15 years and 4 months of service. We have Mr. Gary Owens with 29 years and 8 months of service. And Miss Norma Teeters with 30 years and 1 month of service. So that's quite a lot of time that these folks invested into serving Smyth County and its citizens, and just wanted this board to recognize them for their service and officially adopt these resolutions honoring those employees that are retired from the county. So if I may, Madam Chairman, I would like to make a motion to adopt these resolutions as written.
Okay.
With each individual staff employee, retired employee that I mentioned.
If I may, Betty Tilson was also a retiree, and I think she had close to 20 years. And she had come by earlier and picked up
Good.
her flag.
Good.
So I didn't want to leave her out.
Right. Thank you,
Thank
Lisa.
you.
So you have a motion, and do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? This stack certainly does represent a lot of years of dedicated service to our county. And I want each one of those people to know how much we do appreciate all that they've done to serve us and to serve us well, and wish them well. So, thank you. Next on the agenda is closed session.
Madam Chairman, did you want to have supervisor comment time? That's on the agenda.
Is that the pleasure of the board? Do you want to do that
I think
before
it'd be
or after?
keeping them waiting.
No, that's good for me.
Okay, I think we started with you, Wasco, last time. We'll move down to the other end.
I've got no comment.
Okay, well, then we'll start with you. Okay. Again, thank you all for coming. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your interest. Thank you for helping to make this county what it is. because that's why we're here, is to do your bidding and to do the things that serve you best. And that's our goal and that's our endeavor. And again, thank you so much for all you do.
Thank you. I too would like to express my appreciation for you all being in attendance. It's great to look out and see faces of folks that we are serving, and we don't take these positions lightly, and sometimes there's easy decisions that have to be made, and sometimes there's hard ones. But nonetheless, we are looking out for the best interests of our county as a whole, and I think we have some exciting times ahead of us. So thank you.
Thank everyone for being here tonight, and for the supervisors. I laid a couple pieces of paper there at your desk, the funding for that soil and water people. We had a little luncheon this afternoon, and they gave us that, and wanted to deliver that to the rest of the board. We fund them $27,600, and they use that and parlay that into about $560,000 of benefits to our citizens. So that's good. For every dollar we give them, they make it into $20. So that's a good return on our investment. Otherwise, everybody drives safely going home.
Thank you all for coming. On an earlier comment, I questioned some of the expense of the jail growing and questioned whether there might be some cost savings out there to be recovered from the expenditure of it. But after reading some of the documents, I have to tip my hat to the Commonwealth Attorney as well as the Sheriff and their staffs, as they are operating as lean and as efficient as they possibly can. So they're doing a good job. I just want to publicly say that after looking at some of their documents, they're doing as good a job as I think they could be expected to do. So I didn't mean to impugn their not doing that job, but I did want to publicly say that they do appear to be doing the correct thing. Also, along the same lines, the recovery court. If you've never attended one of the graduations, it's a very moving ceremony. These folks are coming back off of the area of their lives that are not very bright, and they're being a chance to recapture some of their future. So the recovery court does deserve our support, both personally as well as on a county level. So they're doing very good work, and as it was said in the meeting the other day, if just one person is saved for all the expenditures we're putting towards that court, it's worth every penny, because just one life matters. Okay. Lastly, with the health scare here going on with the flu, I want to take a minute to just remind everybody that this can paralyze us economically in the county. Please don't stop going out. Please don't stop going to the stores. Support your local businesses. Some of these places, if you bail out of you supporting them for even as little as a single month, they may not be there when you decide it's safe to go out in the world. Good common sense, wash your hands, keep your hands off your face, you should be fine. Okay? But just don't fall into the Chicken Little skies falling syndrome. Okay? It is serious, but common sense. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we do need a motion to go into closed session. Who has the sheet? And Laska said he would do it.
That's the one.
Here it is.
Center.
Is it in there? We do it the same way in the past?
Yeah, just bottom of the page there.
Oh, hang on. Madam Chairman, I'll make a motion to go into closed section Code of Virginia, Section 2.2-3711 do you need A5?
Yes.
A5, Business Industrial Prospects, discussion concerning a business or industry considering expansion for which no previous announcements had been made, and A6?
A1. That's a typo.
A1, I'm sorry, personnel matters, discussion, consideration of interviews of prospective candidates for employment and contract.
So,
All in favor? All right, we are now in closed session. Thank you for coming.
that's what I'm gonna follow these.
Don't they have those?
Going over to Salvo tonight?